Hello, tonight is Thursday night, 2921 Duff Road, where we're learning how to live healthy, even though we're living in a toxic world. And tonight's subject is lipid therapy or other therapies for the toxic venom. So I am going to actually share my screen and get started with my PowerPoint. See, off that Zoom. No, I do not want to end meeting. And I want to go over here, slideshow, start from the beginning. Hold on a moment while I have to turn my phone off. Yay. All right. I need to know if you all are seeing my slides. Give me a thumbs up if you can actually have a visual of my slides. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to do one more thing. And you'll let me know if you can continue to see my slides. All right. Can you continue to see my slides now? No. All right. Okay. This is where I have to stop share, go back into share. There, now can you see my slides? Okay, perfect. All right. Lipid therapy. Well, what does the term lipid mean? Lipid means fats. Fats? You see, we've been taught to believe that fats are kind of evil things, creepy crawly things, or fats are bad. But in actuality, fats are what you and I are made of, fats and water. And somehow our body knows how to mix the two together in a most brilliant way. So I'm going to start with lipid therapy because that's where your health foundation starts. That's where every cell starts. And cellular treatment to get to the core so your body can do more. So get your notepad out because I'm going to zip through a lot of information tonight and let's get rolling. Cell origin, the smallest living part. Amazing, amazing creation. Life begins at the cell level. Life is maintained at the cell level. I think if we could grasp this comprehension, this concept of, well, if you start as one cell and you're maintained as one cell and every disease is traced back to one cell, so then doesn't it make sense to fix the cell to get to the root of the problem? See, the body is made up of 100 trillion cells with different functionalities. And this is where it kind of gets a little complicated, but not really. And I hope to break it down for you tonight so you see that every cell, even though it might be a specific cell to a specific organ or tissue and carries out a specific function, still has the same basic needs for maintenance. What? Yes. The building blocks of life is one cell at a time. It's your foundation. Life begins, maintains, and ends at the cell level. I love what Dr. Mary Ruth Swope wrote. I love a lot of her books. If you look her up, she was a wonderful woman that discovered health and nutrition as a source solution for a lot of health challenges. And she went around the world sharing this information. And she wrote several books. If it could be expected that all scientists in the world agreed on one single fact, she said, I believe they would agree on this, that life begins and is maintained and ends at the cellular level. The health of one single cell holds the key to the health of the whole organism. Why is this? Because single cells clump together to form tissue, and tissues clusters to form organs. Thus, to keep individual cells healthy is to experience health in the whole body. In reverse, when individual cells become unhealthy, tissues can become unhealthy. And if unchecked, disease can result in the death of the whole person. So if we could just grasp this understanding, then we'll understand breaking it down to such simple, basic ABC concepts that we are feeding our cells healthy nutrition, and therefore our cells can be regulated and maintained at a healthy state. Now, the cell functionality, well, it can be a bone cell, a brain cell, a blood cell, a skin cell, a gut cell. Every human function takes place there in the cell. So every cell has a basic component that's the same. It has a mitochondria, it has a DNA, and it has the ability to receive nutrition and push out toxins to generate energy and be able to replicate itself. So health condition of a single cell will determine the health condition of the entire organism. Cells come together to form tissue, and tissue forms organs, and organs glands, and therefore your entire body. Let's reverse this concept. Absolutely. So if we can heal the cell or feed the cell what the cell needs to maintain itself, cells can become toxic because we live in a toxic world. So cells become toxic because they are introduced to toxins. Many times not because of our wishing or wanting or because of our will, many times because of our ignorance of what we're eating or what we're putting on our skin or what we're drinking. But many times we don't have control over those levels. We must, though, liberate the cell. And when we liberate the cell, we can actually empower the cell to have a special defense system that can help it to withstand the onslaught of toxins that we are facing today. The very first level of your cell membrane is the border of the cell. And whoever controls the border controls the nation and also controls the CBD, the central business district of your body or the cells. So the central business district is how that mitochondria is going to function, how it protects the DNA, how it replicates after its own kind. So like you have heard already, how does TRANN work in the body? It works miraculously because it is what the membrane or the border is made of, that is self-protection, self-regulating. And if you don't fix the cell, you will never get well. So it has to start there. And that's what's so amazing about the formulas of Neolife, and starting at the ground basics, and the foundation is TRANN. You're not going anywhere without this amazing foundation of TRANN. Making progress in the symphony of nutrition. Then we build and we stack on that amazing lipid therapy called TRANN. And then we gather together that amazing symphony of nutrition. We build layer upon layer, starting with the cell border. Our genetics control 10%. Sometimes we're told that genetics control more than that, but actually research does reveal that genetics only control about 10% of these chronic diseases that we are suffering from and dying from. And that means that lifestyle and environment controls 90%. And they discovered through epigenetics that if you actually change into a healthier lifestyle and environment, you can actually change that to 10% by flipping the switch on or flipping the switch off. Lifestyle is your diet, the things that you're eating, the things that you're drinking. It's about exercise. Are you getting up and moving your body? What kind of supplements are you taking, and what kind of medications are you taking? Because a lot of times medications will block nutrition. We don't realize that, but one medication causes 7 more ills. one pill causes 7 more ills. Does that make sense? No. And how about stress levels? How we handle stress also plays a part in our state of health. Environment is where you live, where you work, your friends that you gather around, and your family members. Sometimes they can be toxic, and sometimes they can be healing and encouraging and lifting, uplifting. And I think the Word of God tells us to surround ourselves with people that are joyful and that think on good things and that share the good thing and that are givers and not just takers. To get well, you have to fix the cell. So what makes your cells happy? Well, find out what makes your cells happy and what your cells love and what they hate. And I think it's a matter of falling in love with the things that make your cells happy and having a distance, putting a distance between you and the things that makes your cells unhappy or hangry. Disease can be avoided and even reversed because your body is the healer by caring for every cell in your body and feeding your cells properly. Never compromise, though, your innate immune system. What is an innate immune system? It's the one you were born with. It's the one that your creator created within your biology and chemistry, the one that works best. And never compromise your innate immune system through ingesting poison or injecting poison into your bloodstream or into your body. You must protect your innate immune system. I can't stress this enough. You must protect your innate immune system. Welcome, Brian. We got some goodies up here, so help yourself. How do we start this journey? You have to eat good, real, clean food. And so if you wonder what is real, clean, good food, just contact me. I'll be glad to get you on a list. Wherever you live, there's websites you can go to find local farms. There's co-ops you can tap into. There's farmers markets you can tap into. There's markets that you can participate in. Things are really buzzing on this end and happening in a great way because people are I just met a couple that just opened up a farm about 25, 30 minutes from my house. And I went to see them and meet them. And they said that they moved out of the big city of Tampa and felt led by their creator to buy this land and start a farm and start a way of supplying the community with good, clean, healthy food. And I purchased 3 chickens from them and I cooked one the other day and it was delicious. So whatever you supplement with, again, because your supplements may be harming you, hurting you, or they may be helping you, it all depends upon how they're made and where they're coming from. Anything that stresses you is a sign the body is trying to adapt. That actually helps me because when I feel a bit of anxiety, I can actually stop and reposition myself by asking myself, what is happening right now that is out of or contrary to what I'm used to, so that I can understand why I'm feeling this sense of anxiety. Or am I in an environment that is uncomfortable? Have I eaten something that I know maybe my body is trying to adapt to extra inflammation because I've eaten something? You can always stop and think, okay, am I feeling this stress? Why am I feeling this stress? Because your body is adapting to something. Something's invaded your atmosphere, your peace borders, or something has invaded you physically through foods also, or something you've ingested or invited in. Adaptogens train the body to adapt to handle stress better. And sometimes these are herbs. They're like ginseng, and they're like ashwagandha. They're like different herbs, or even polyphenols are a type of adaptogenic herbs. You'll find some of these adaptogenic herbs in our Neolife tea, and they may be ginseng, and they may be green tea. Those are adaptogenic herbs. And adaptogenic herbs help the body intrinsically to adapt to handling stress better. So that might be something that you might want to look into. The body has to have nutrients, though, as it breaks down, and then it rebuilds back. And the core nutrients that the body is using or has access to is going to determine how well we're going to build back, how well we're going to reproduce the reproduction of our cells. Were you made during COVID? Now, I say this because I heard a story recently that I kind of chuckle at, so I'm going to share it. And it has to do with, I was hearing a story of a gentleman who lives in Florida who used to work for the CIA. So he's quite a particular man about everything. And so he went and bought a sofa, and it wasn't at a chain, like, I won't say the name of the companies that you see, in every mall in America. It actually was a very reputable company. So he purchased a sofa, brought it home, and he sat on it for about 2 weeks, and all of a sudden the bottom fell out of it. No. And so he calls the company and he goes, listen, you guys got to come out here and replace the sofa, because the sofa, the bottom fell out of it. And they were like, oh, no, we're not believing you. We're going to set somebody out of service for customer service, send them out and take a look at it. So they came into his living room. They said, oh, looks like a perfectly fine sofa to me. They sat on it, and bloop, they went to the bottom. And so they go, whoa, we see what you're talking about here. So he went through a series of events in order to, let's say, get a brand new sofa. It wasn't that easy, even though he could prove that it was defective. But what he found out was that up in the Carolinas, where the sofa was made during COVID, they wanted to fulfill their contract agreements for making so many sofas and furniture, but they didn't have all the parts to do it. Oh my. So they skipped on the parts. So I say, were you made during COVID? No, your creator didn't skip any parts. Every part in your body has a purpose, has a function. And so, so it may be buyer beware. Don't buy anything that was made during COVID because you're going to be slided and gypped, and the bottom's going to fall out. As a matter of fact, while I'm on a roll with that, you all do know that the submarine, this little bitty little submarine, imploded, right? Yeah. So they discovered that the submarine imploded. And so they discovered that the submarine was made from Home Depot parts, and a joystick controlled it, that you control a game, a TV game, or one of them games. So why would somebody risk their life to go so many miles beneath the ocean, pay $250,000, and be told, oh, by the way, the submarine you're getting in was made from Home Depot? Excuse me, would you get in that submarine? Would you sign at the dotted line? I waive all my rights, because I am putting my trust in this person that made this submarine from parts purchased at Home Depot. Excuse me, but people do it every day. They do it every day. They don't know what's inside their medication that's being prescribed to them. Do you know prescription medications, the majority of them are coming from China? Do you know that they add this and add that, and they subtract this and subtract that? Do you know there was a recent recall on metformin? Do you know that there were 50,000 people that died from taking Vioxx that they said was perfectly safe, and nobody went to jail over that? So it's just buyer beware. I believe in informed consent, and it's hard for me to believe that these people signed at the dotted line knowing that this submarine was made from Home Depot parts. Yellow submarine, right? Okay, what were they smoking when they got inside?
Are they all gone now if it imploded?
Oh yeah, they're gone. They're gone. You have to have something to fight with. In other words, every cell has its day and its defense system. And this, you have to give the cell something to fight with. Make the cell resistant to the toxin, to the venom. And I'm going to call every toxin venom, by the way. Why? Number one is there are over 100 medications prescribed that are made from venom. Did you hear what I just said? Wow. Our body, let's talk about our body. How does the body heal itself? It's designed to heal and survive. It's quite the miracle. The goal is to learn what your cells love and give it more of what it loves and less of what it hates. And you can tell what it hates because it doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't give you the energy, sustained energy, I'm going to say, because a energy drink purchased at the 7-Eleven at the counter will give you instant energy, but it'll drop you and give you the jitters and cause heart arrhythmias and heart attacks. It's real simple. Over time, stress, poor sleep, bad diet, toxic exposure, damage, and all these things inflame our cells and damages the cells. Did you know that 92% of Americans are clinically deficient in 10 to 20 of the most important nutrients today? That is astounding. Why? Because we get our nutrition from food, and food gets it from the soil. And if the soil is depleted, then where's the food going to get its nutrition from? You are a nutrient dependent phenomena, and you can't change that. I don't care how you fight it. You can't change that fact. Supplying nutrition to your body, it's just wise. Supplying nutrition to your body is how you prevent these diseases. The body can heal itself. Healing means restoration to a normal condition from a sick or out of balance condition to having a whole, healthy body. You see, cure doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. And I will share this forever and ever, what my husband's eye doctor said in his office when he said, I've come to a conclusion that physicians only correct what man does to their body out of ignorance. But the ultimate great physician is the body itself, and how our Creator created the body to heal itself. And then he went on to say the problem is that most physicians think they're God. And I'm just quoting what this great physician said. So if you go in and you, let's say, do surgery, it is the body that heals you from the inside out of that surgery, right? If you go in and break a bone and a doctor has to set that bone, then it's your body that heals the bone from the inside out, right? And your body heals according to the level or measure of nutrients that you have provided it. Wow. And it's all about adapting. So if you've had injury, how many here has had some injury to their body? I think everybody has. If you're living, you have fallen down and scuffed your knee at some point, or you've had stitches, or you've had this or that. And so your body learned to adapt to that, right? And you healed, right? Amazing. So body can heal itself. So let's take a look at the cell function itself. Stress, lack of sleep, toxins, pollution, bad foods affects your sleep, your energy, your mood, your digestion. And this is, by the way, your thyroid, your skin, hair, nails, your whole body health, because your cells need oxygen, they need hormones, they need nutrients, and they need to create energy and then push out the toxins. But poor sleep, chronic fatigue, stress, anxiety, depression, all of these things are signs that the cell is in trouble, that the cell itself is suffering, that the cell itself is not getting enough nutrition or not able to detoxify at that moment or time. These are signs. How about your brain and brain cells? Here are some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing if you have some brain cells that are suffering: brain fog, anxiety, being overwhelmed, mood swings, no drive, motivation, depression, trouble sleeping, Alzheimer's, dementia, thyroid problems. As a matter of fact, they have actually linked every one of these problems to having an inflamed brain. So a brain that is being fed omegas and lipids, those are those good fats, is going to be a brain that is focused, has good memory, has a good mood, is motivated to get up in the morning, is motivated to create throughout the day, gets a good sound sleep at night, the thyroid's functioning properly, and it participates in the whole body function. And it creates your hormones, your serotonin, your GABA, your dopamine, and your endorphins. And it's able to detoxify. You see, the brain has to detoxify. A lot of things now that God put a blood-brain barrier around the brain to actually protect it from these toxins. And man has figured out how to bypass that blood-brain barrier, and actually through injectable things and through certain toxins, they're able to go in and actually go through and mimic things that the brain is programmed to open itself up to. Sad to say. Stress, lack of sleep, toxins, pollution. How about your intestines? Digestion. These are some symptoms of having cells that are unhappy in your intestines: poor digestion, bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, leaky gut, candida, SIBO, IBS, and more. Woo, out of breath on that one. Again, there's a lining to your gut, and that lining actually trains your immune system, and the condition of that will determine the condition of your immune system. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But having regular bowel movements, simulating your nutrition, because that's where you simulate your nutrition, and then getting good sleep, having proper energy throughout the day to meet your needs throughout the day, having good gut bacteria, microbiome, will actually set you up for a healthy whole body. And again, the thyroid has two different types of cells that need to be fed on a daily basis. Follicular cells, parafollicular cells, and these are cells that need to be fed properly. And what's so interesting about the thyroid is that it is like a sponge, and it soaks up nutrients and especially minerals. And if it doesn't get the proper amount of minerals, then it will soak up anything that even looks like a mineral. The problem with that is a lot of our toxins mimic minerals. Did you hear what I just said? Mimic minerals. How interesting. So the gut cells, again, the microbiome, that's that epithelial a layer that actually keeps your villi healthy, which reaches out and grabs your nutrient to bring it in, your B vitamins, your probiotics, and all of your nutrition that you actually absorb in the gut. And these cells all have to work together. They have to be happy, they have to be healthy, and they have to work synergistically together for a whole state of health. If things are not right, then we need to get to the root of the problem with gut health. Environment, chemicals, again, home care. It can be found in your home. It can be found on your skin. It can be found in your personal care, from lipstick to sunscreen types. Foods that cause leaky gut. Some of the number one stressors of food today is vegetable oils, seed oils, is soy that's been sprayed with glyphosate no less than 4 times before they harvest it. Glyphosate causes leaky gut syndrome. The hybridized grains, they're all an issue in the gut, because when they sit in the gut says, what is this? We don't identify you as a food. It's a food-like substance, but it's not real food, and it deposits its chemical, it deposits its toxin. How about, and also the liver, then the liver has to take care of the toxin. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Water, you're made up of 70% of your body is water. Air, the air that we're breathing, and the things that we inject into our body, and the thing that we ingest into our body. And electromagnetic frequencies also play a part in radiation, play a part in our body's adaptation, our body's ability to adapt, because again, we live in a fallen world and we don't live in a perfect world, and it's getting more and more toxic. And we want to be able to not only survive, but thrive. And we want to be able to teach the next generation not only to survive, but to thrive. So invasions, the war against the toxic venemination, cell receptor dominance. It is all about who's going to dominate the cell receptors, because as you saw in those pictures, every cell has receptors. In that border, it maintains gates, it maintains channels, it maintains openings where it can open and close. And it's all about who's going to dominate the border, who's going to dominate the border. And so the toxins, again, can mimic a nutrition and nutrients. And so the cell may be so hungry that it doesn't decipher completely, are you who you say you are, and opens the door for it because it's so needy. You ever been one of those in a relationship? You open the door to anything because you're so needy. Beware. Cells have that same problem. You see, if we avoid or are ignorant of nurturing ourselves, then the cell can be so needy that it opens the door to the foe instead of the friend. Nicotinic bonds actually can dominate the cell receptors over the spike pros. All right, what does that mean? That means that one of the toxins that was in the sickness that we just went through the last 2.5 years was the intoxication of these spike pros. And as we are dealing with these spike pros, they discovered that they hog the cell receptors. And when they hog the cell receptors, they create damage because they are imposters. They're not there to do you good. They're there to do damage. So praise God, I have found that choline, phospholipid choline, actually hogs these receptors and kicks out these spike pros. This is good news for you and I. So keeping your cells manned with lecithin and lipotropic and super B, because these are the nutrients that are full of choline and inositol. So I used to tell people to go get a nicotinic patch and put on in order to kick these spike pros off. But now I can tell them to get some lecithin from Neolife or lipotropic from Neolife or Super B from Neolife. And I'm going to show you the actual label and how much choline it actually has in it. And actually, it has the priority over spike pros. This is amazing good news for you and I. Y'all been asking for this, and I'm delivering it to you. Let's take a look at lecithin. How do you get lecithin in food? Eggs, meat. How do you know? Asparagus. Charlotte brought asparagus tonight because she wanted to be a part of the class. Come get your choline tonight from your asparagus. So let's take a look. Phospholipid choline supports key brain functions, including memory and muscle control, and assists fat metabolism to the liver and throughout the bloodstream. Phospholipid inositol supports nerve cell structure and nerve impulse transmission. So these spike pros actually go in and cause a lot of inflammation, especially to the brain. When they cause the inflammation to the brain, they affect your neurological issues. And when they affect the neurological issues, then you got problems breathing, you got problems thinking, like brain fog and shortness of breath. Are you getting the picture here? And so phospholipid choline comes in and says, no, bad boys, boot off the bad boys on these cell receptors and put back on your cell receptors the rightful man of phospholipid choline. Now I want you to take a look and see how much phospholipid choline is in lecithin. There is, can anybody see it? 175 milligrams for two soft gels. Now, when I went online and I saw what some of these advisors are telling their clients to take, it was about 300 milligrams. So how many lecithin would it take for you to get 300 milligrams? 3 at 175 per for 2. 3 lecithin is equivalent to, but it is a pure whole food lecithin. Amazing. It also has vitamin E. It also has magnesium, and it also has the inositol. It has 100 milligrams of the inositol. So this is quite amazing. This is quite good news for everybody that is suffering from long haul C and suffering from the symptoms of it that just doesn't seem to go away, or comes and goes and comes and goes in like waves. Wow, we got some good news here, and I'm happy to share it. Lipotropic adjunct. Let's take a look at the lipotropic factors. Why did Neolife create this formula? Because we need assistance with our liver cells. Our liver cells your liver is the main detoxifier. Choline and inositol are essential for the production of lipoproteins, which help keep lipids emulsified in the bloodstream. The problem is the backwash, the liver can't handle the toxins with the bile, and it backflushes back into the bloodstream. When the liver does this, you have all kinds of allergies, you have all kinds of side effects, symptoms, I should say, that is happening because the liver needs to be flushed. This is a fabulous continuous maintenance liver flush because it helps you to process that fats and it helps you to process the toxins. Unwanted fat buildup in the liver is not good, but let's take a look at how much choline and inositol, phosphatidylcholine choline that it has. I want you to take a look at it. It has, can anybody see it? 200 milligrams for 2 to 4 tablets, 200 milligrams. So here you have another 200 milligrams of phosphatidylcholine. Wow. It also has inositol, 200 milligrams of inositol. It also has enzymes. We're going to talk about the importance of those enzymes in a moment. But this is good news. This is very good news for helping with dealing with the toxins, dealing with our body's ability to adapt and to flush out the toxins as they continue to come in, because we can avoid only so many, but not all. Another is Super B. And the Super B, I want you to take a look how much inositol and choline is in our Super B. Take a look. It shows here inositol is 100 milligrams and the and inositol and choline is 50 milligrams. So you got 100 milligrams of inositol, 50 milligrams with just one Super B. What if you took 3 Super B? That would triple the amount of inositol and choline. Oh my goodness. Hey, I am giving you all solutions for this Spike Pro issue. I'm giving you solutions that are going to help you and help your body. And these aren't instant gratification solutions. It takes your body a process and a time to process through. I also want you to see something else about our Super B, because there is controversy about folate and folic.
Hold on. What if you, I've never been exactly. Are we still susceptible?
Yes, because a Spike Pro is a Spike Pro.
Where's it coming
It can come from air, can come from water, it can come from food.
from? So we're still getting.
Yes, yes, we are. Shedding also, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But I want you to see here that it says folate. Folate is 667 micrograms and folic is 400 micrograms. So it actually has both folate and folic in there. And I hear all the time about controversy about which one comes from food and which one doesn't. Rest assured, Neolife's does come from the food chain. Also, yes, real quick.
Nicotine helps block spike protein, correct? The choline does even better.
Much better without any side effects. That's exactly, you got it, John. You got it. You got it. So the body needs to detox. And this choline is going to help the liver detox, and it's going to man the receptors on the cell, and it's going to dominate the cell, kick off the Spike Pro guys, and put back on the inositol choline and the phosphatidylcholine receptors. Liver is a detox organ. It must have good circulation and nutrition. You can surgically remove 70% of the liver and it will grow back. The liver is the negative pole as the brain is the positive pole. So in other words, whatever's happening to the liver is going to happen to the brain. So if you got brain fog, you got liver fog. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you got brain fog, you got liver fog. Whatever's happening to the brain is also happening to the liver.
Yeah, I've heard that the liver has memory cells. Wow.
It does. It does. You can't liberate the toxins without your liver having the nutrient capacity to dispose of them. So in other words, the liver can't detox without nutrition. You have to nutrify before you detoxify. Pathways of detox. Cells, okay, so it starts at the cell, then it goes into the bloodstream, then back to the liver, then back to the GI tract, and then out with the sewer. All are lipid-based deliveries. That's why I call this talk lipid therapy, because they are all. Lecithin is lipids, and inositol choline are a lipid nutrient. And so you have to set the pathway for your body to detox. Bile helps carry out the toxins, and if the liver is clogged, it will dump the toxins back into the bloodstream. So in other words, when blood comes into the liver with the bile, then if there's too many toxins and if there's not enough choline or inositol to actually emulsify that the toxins, then the liver can't handle it and it pushes the bile back out into the bloodstream. Wow. And then what are you going to get? You're going to get fatty liver. You're going to get a sluggish digestion. You can't digest fats. These are all signs that your liver is in trouble when you can't digest fats. You have discomfort after meals. You have itching in your skin after meals, because when that bile flushes back into your bloodstream, it goes between your skin layers and it causes itching and burning. It can cause kidney stress back here, lower back pains. It can cause kidney stress. Any of these issues is a sign that your liver needs to be detoxed. Wow, this is good information, you guys. Why detox your liver? Well, you're going to detox your liver because you remember you have to nutrify your liver first. B vitamins, antioxidants, milk thistle is a good adaptogen. It's an herb. Carotenoids, vitamin E, vitamin C, you're going to get all those in the Pro Vitality Pack, and glutathione, which is CoQ10. And by the way, required nutrients, more amino acids in your protein shake, cruciferous vegetables, garlic, onion, broccoli, etc., that you're going to get from our cruciferous. And we're going to talk more about that. Toxic list, again, are anything. Remember, when you have alcohol that goes to the liver as ethanol, then the liver shuts down its 500 different functions to deal with the ethanol. And so you're overtaxing your liver, even if it's a small amount. So signs you need to detox. Anxiety is a first sign that you need to detox. So if you got a family member that has a lot of anxiety, they simply need to detox. Depression. So it starts with anxiety, and unresolved anxiety will roll into depression. Unresolved depression will roll into brain fog, and then fatigue. And then you got all this backwashing of the liver and joint pain. Do you see how it rolls and it stacks on one after the other? Now, detox. I love the Dr. Arthur First Detox program. Why? Because it supplies everything that you need to pull out the toxins, whether it's a chemical toxin, whether it's a carcinogen toxin. Dr. First Betagard is a specific made high level with special nutrient chelating compounds that goes through the GI, binds the heavy metals to the fiber you're going to take to be taken out by the body sewer department. The central business district is doing its business. Wow, it's amazing. If the liver is clear from the lipid compounds and the cell is clear by the lipids, then the body will signal for more toxins to be released. In other words, if it has enough nutrients of this phosphatidylcholine, choline, B vitamins, amino acids, vitamin C, vitamin E, then it says, okay, boys, bring us another load. All right, instead of, oh my God, we can't handle this. Sewer department's overflowing right now. We're going to backwash it back into the bloodstream. Instead, it's going to say, boys, we can handle this. Bring us another load. Required is high levels of lipids for a coordinating effort activating the cells. And starting with the TRANN, which is our lipids and sterols, and then phosphatidylcholine and vitamin E are all amazing lipids that play in a coordinating action to help this detoxification. So these are detox helpers, Neolax, because you got to make sure the sewer department's working that day. Because if the sewer department's not working that day, it's going to overflow. Because once that chelated Beta-Guard chelates and puts a claw bond on that toxin, it bonds, it's a bonding agent to the fiber. And then the fiber doesn't have any function nutritionally other than it is a food for prebiotic food, and it bonds with toxins and carries them out with the sewer department. The probiotic is a helper, the microbiome colony. So you got to restart you got to give it a boost to restart a healthy microbiome colony. The fiber is the bonding agent. The garlic is the parasite cleanser, comes in, deals with virus and pathogens and molds and virus. And then the Neolax, again, keeps things moving in the right direction. Awesome, awesome. And then this is a liver cleanse. And I would recommend to do this liver cleanse 4 times a year. It's just a ½ ounce of extra virgin olive oil, ½ ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. Drink first thing in the morning for about 5 mornings. And so it's just an amazing detox. Also, the liver bile ducts must be cleared. Remember, they must be cleared. And so beet juice will actually do the same thing. And the beet juice, you start with 2 ounces for 7 days in the morning, then 3 ounces for the next 7 days, and 4 ounces for the next 7 days for 21 days to clear the liver for your liver detox. Everybody got it? Everybody good? Snapping pictures, writing it down. John, are you good?
Yes.
Okay, well, stack on the facts on the V word. So, studies in New England Journal of Medicine showed 10 days of shed after the V. Wow. Ozone, though, is being used to break up that toxin. Ozone is being used to break it up directly in the site. There is also, they found live components and toxic components if you have been given the injectable portion of it. So 1 in 200 will have, these are studies that are coming out of Italy, these are studies that are coming out of France, showing that 1 in 200 will have myocarditis. And they know that there is no cure for this. Guess what we've discovered? As I was listening to this doctor the other night on one of the programs, saying that he is literally reversing this through helping people eat raw buffalo heart. They order it online, they get it delivered, they put it in a blender, and they eat raw buffalo heart. Now, you might think that's a little wild and far-fetched in the buffalo field, but let me explain. They have tried to genetically modify the buffalo in every which way that they can, and they can't do it. The buffalo's DNA is so strong and so staunch that they cannot genetically modify the buffalo. The buffalo says, I was born a buffalo, I was created a buffalo, and you ain't touching my buffalo DNA. Next is, a buffalo is the only mammal known that can run flat out indefinitely. If a cheetah runs for 3 minutes, it's got to stop and rest for 3 days. But if a buffalo runs for 3 minutes, it can run for 30 minutes. It can run for 60 minutes. It can run for 3 hours. It can run for 6 hours. It can run for 9 hours at high speed and not have to rest. And the reason why a buffalo does not need to rest is because it has an insane amount of mitochondria in the heart. And the body is designed to make its own mitochondria factory as fast as it's being used. So this physician has found that the buffalo heart has been a complete reversal to this issue. Wow. Can we say wow, wow, and wow?
Where do you get it?
Online. Butcher. There's another herb that this doctor I listened to talked about that they used to give these injections into the heart or into the body when people would have heart attacks and was bring them back like that. Well, pharma got in the way and they stopped that. So you can go online and actually buy the herb, and the herb is up here, Strophantus, and it's pronounced Strophantus, and it's an herb, and you can actually take this herb also. But these are some of the things that they're doing to help people with a damaged heart from the injectable toxin. It's right here, Strophantus, Strophantus. It's a Strophantus herb. 60% of those who have been poked, okay, I don't like that word, have elevated D-dimer. And the top 4 reasons, if you go and see the top 4 reasons for having elevated D-dimer, because D-dimer tells you whether or not your blood has the ability to clog or not. And if they're high, that means you have excessive clotting. And one of them is venomization. You have been venomized. You have been envenomized. So they have discovered in France and Italy, through a study, showed 36 types of envenomization in the injectables. 36 kinds. Blood, urine, and feces were all tested. Crosses the blood-brain barrier. By the way, this crosses the blood-brain barrier. Remember, I talked about that. Crosses the blood-brain barrier, affecting the neurological area that controls your breathing, your muscles. And another thing is it helps is ivermectin stops the replication of it. So phosphatidylcholine choline kicks the spike pros off, and ivermectin comes in and stops the replication of the spike pros. There are over 100 different, and I share this, medications and prescription that are made from venom since 1980. Oh my goodness. What you deal with is real. We're dealing with this. This is almost sounds like something out of an Orwellian movie or book, but it's reality. And we've got to get our head out of the sand, and we've got to pull up our sleeves. And my heart is to help people to find solutions. And I know that Neolife has provided those solutions. When I found that phosphatidylcholine choline, oh my goodness. Adjuvants, you have to deal with the adjuvants that are in this injectable. And like phosphate and glyphosate and polysorbate 80 and heavy metals and mercury and aluminum and fluoride and parasites and animal DNA are all in it. Graphene oxide, nanoparticles, man-made stuff. You know, it's actually called a chimera. I didn't write this down. CHIRMA. Look it up. And you can actually find that word in the Bible. And it talks about how God does not like mixture. He doesn't like chimeric mixture. And that's actually what this is. And if you go on some of their websites, it actually tells you that they're proud of their chimeric mixtures. So 1 out of 10 that they actually studied of these formulas had crawling alive things in them, and they only could conclude some type of parasites. So your body is able to deal with this. We just have to know the avenue of detoxification, and we're learning those avenues of detoxification for the body to be able to live with it or kick it out, one or the other. So cruciferous is a major game player in this. More treats the brain and the body needs. How about omegas? How about vitamin E? How about chelated minerals? See, minerals make enzymes, and enzymes are the catalyst for all other actions. Amino acids are your building blocks. Zinc repairs protein, but you must have vitamin C to help zinc, and you must have vitamin C to help E. Flavonoids and polyphenols are part of your adaptogens, are part of your, in fact, I was reading an article today that said one of the most powerful nutrients they found for the brain is polyphenols. Well, Neolife knew that 15 years ago when they developed the tray. And it was Dr. Arthur First that developed our liquid essence called Tray, TRE. Amazing. Polyphenols. Cruciferous is your sulfur compounds that makes enzymes that actually break down toxins. See, what I'm sharing with you here is your body's reinforcement to break down toxins, Vitamin C is your antioxidant, protects the protein, the skin matrix. Remember your collagen. Vitamin D has over 3,000 different functions in the body. How dare you slight your body of any of this? And I am so grateful to present to you that Neolife provides all of it at high quality intensity. Whole living food, concentrated nutrients. So amazing, so amazing. God-given immunity. See, the blood is born in the marrow, then circulated to the gut. This is where your blood goes to school and is trained by the lymphatic tissue. Life is in the blood and disease starts in the gut. So the very first cells you want to heal are the gut cells. Woohoo! If your gut is a disaster, then the training will be a disaster. Your immune system will be a disaster. Your body's microbiome is fed by the gut microbiome. It takes 6 to 12 months to replace. So I hear people say, but I don't feel any better after taking Neolife acidophilus for 2 days or 2 weeks. Well, honey, it took you 50 years to get in this condition. It's going to take you, it takes 6 to 12 months to replace that whole lining of the gut biome, to put in good colonies and reverse the damage and to kick out the bad colonies. The gut is where you receive nutrition. So as that's happening, then you're going to have more and more and more uptake of nutrition. The parts, the nuts, the bolts that keep you up and running every single day. Amazing. Every single day. It's the nuts and bolts that keeps you running every single day. Your God-given immunity. Do not compromise your God-given immunity. Viruses are simply toxic proteins. So if you can look at them as synthetic proteins that are toxic to the body, that's what we're dealing with here. Then enzymes are going to actually break down, by God's design, those toxic proteins. So let's take a look at how that works. Toxic proteins trigger inflammation, and enzymes break down toxic proteins specific for a chemical reaction. Cruciferous, that's why I showed the cruciferous, sulfur-based enzymes to detox the liver. This helps the blood detox. Minerals, an enzyme is a mineral with a protein complex. It acts as a catalyst in the chemical action, and it must be present. Guess what? Your body doesn't make minerals. You wake up every morning mineral deficient. if you've not been giving it minerals the night before. So in other words, your body doesn't make, it's called essential for a reason, because your body can't make minerals. You have to give it minerals. The only place that your body can get minerals from is from the food that you're or supplementation. Amino acids must be present. So again, you've got the bonds of protein, minerals, zinc. All protein repairs are done by zinc. This is why zinc is so powerful during this spike pro issue, is because zinc literally breaks down the toxic protein that's invading the body. So you're working here to kick it off the receptor of the cell. You're working here to come and attack it and break her down. Do you see the processes going on here? Zinc-based enzymes, not enough zinc, the protein deteriorates. So in other words, the healthy protein, the amino acid that works with the zinc to break down the toxic protein is not going to happen. So enzymes are vital, and it's not just digestive enzymes, but these are nutrients that actually bond with enzymes and create enzymes in the body and literally break down toxins in the body. Minerals play a big role. They give the nutrients God intended so it can function the way God created it. The body is like a sponge. I talked about anything that looks like a mineral. Minerals make up 66% of your body's nutrient needs. Oh my goodness. Dr. Don Lawson talked about when they asked him, how many minerals does a person need to take? He said, take minerals until your mouth tastes like metallic. He said, that's how many minerals that you need to fortify your body with. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. Take enough minerals that your mouth even tastes mineralized. That's amazing. So I understand that now when I realize that 66% of your body's nutrient needs are coming from minerals, because they make everything else active and action. Selenium. Selenium is a liver detox. They found that everyone that has cancer has selenium depletion. It doesn't take a lot of selenium either. A handful of Brazil nuts or a multi-min from Neolife or a Pro Vitality pack from Neolife. Chromium, calcium, potassium, copper, all regulate. They regulate the dysregulation. Amazing what they do. Multi-min, CalMag, magnesium, zinc. Again, they all play a part in the functionality of every individual cell to help us to face the toxins and the venoms that are out there in this world to actually fight against your health and your wholeness. Then it comes in the antioxidants, cellular support. So you got to have support for the cell, and antioxidant is a tremendous cellular support. So alpha lipoic acid, Trey has alpha lipoic acid in it. Glucose balance has alpha lipoic acid in it. It's an antioxidant. It's the golden herb, the turmeric, the curcumin, the carotenoids, the flavonoids, again, are the polyphenols that are rich in those polyphenols, which are amazing. Quercetin, carotenoid complex, all of this makes up an amazing symphony of antioxidants for every individual cell to fight back, combat, and to be stronger and to resist the toxin. Then I was kind of shocked to discover that, but I wanted to share this, that the program that I listened to, that I got some of my information from tonight for my class, actually had a program that sells supplements. So I went on their website to take a look at their supplements, and this is some of what they say, begin your journey to health and wellness by choosing well of life. Make the decision to heal, make the decision to thrive, experience a life of health and vitality. Money back guarantee, 60-day unconditional guarantee. You'll love it or your money back. Hello, strength. Bye-bye, weakness. So these are kind of the, are you struggling with brain fog? Are you struggling with all these, symptoms? So I went on their website to take a look at what they are selling the general public as they're bringing awareness, and awareness is a good thing. So I was just curious. So here we go. Let's take a look at their vitamin that they're selling the general public that doesn't know any better. I want you to take a look right here. So their vitamin E. Do you see DL alpha tocopherol? Do you see DL alpha tocopherol? This is a major company that is bringing a great awareness about what we're going through today. I love their material. I love their stuff, but this is what they're selling. I was shocked. And it's $59 for a month's supply. And look what you're getting here. If this is synthetic, then guess what else is going to be synthetic? It's going to all be synthetic. Oh my goodness. I was like, you are kidding me, but not kidding. And it shows here that it is calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, excuse me, chalk, rocks, excuse me, my goodness. So I just want you to see that why I get so excited about our formulas and why I share it with everybody, because everybody deserves to know. It's called informed consent. Now, if you want to buy this, go right ahead and buy this. I'm not going to chain you up and bind you and forbid you from pulling out your credit card and spending $60 on this. But I am going to warn you that you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. It is. I watched. It's the GMP. Yes. And then I went and I saw their omegas, and I want you to see what's in their omegas. Do you see what's in their omegas? Their omegas is all rancid. It's been boiled from ethyl ester form. That means it's been processed through chemicals. So this is an oil that's been ethyl ester form of oils that is, it will cause inflammation by its very nature. Again, this saddens me to see this. But I thought, and Wade, do you see right here, it says GMP? That's the seal. That is their seal of accountability, is GMP, good manufacturing practices. And what does good manufacturing practices show you? Well, they come in and inspect, make sure the floors are clean, some of the equipment's been clean, and the paperwork's in order. And that's pretty much it. Wow. So, we all know that the nutrition that we get from the breakfast solution alone is far superior to what they're selling for over $150 from a general vitamin and an omega. Oh my goodness, $120. And what have you got here? You've got that lipid therapy working for you. You've got an omega that is working for you, that was processed in a cold extraction, tested for 200 toxins, not processed with chemicals, not processed in oxygen, but in nitrogen. You've got the carotenoids that are the full-fledged antioxidants. You got 21 vitamins and minerals, and you've got 22 amino acids and 25 vitamins and minerals in the protein shake alone. This is an amazing value. It's high-level quality, and we need to be sharing it with the world. I'm very passionate about that because I believe that God does provide for us the solutions that we need in our hour of venomation so that we can properly detoxify. And again, not just barely get by, but thrive, and to teach the next generation to do the same. So that concludes my class tonight. And I want to thank you all. Hold on a second. Let me go back out, stop screen share. As I go back out, stop screen share. Then I'm going to get back with the person that shared this information with you and let them share with you how you too can get started on a great program for your health.